bunch of noise about them damn Dallas Cowboys. There's a whole bunch of noise about that bad man that is Aaron Rodgers. The NBA season is about to take off. Did you see LeBron yesterday? I know I did. I know Molly did. Some dude named Swagoo invading the airwaves, acting like he gonna take over. It's Wednesday with Swagoo. Like that's gonna make a difference. Hell no. First takes in the house. I don't know why you showed up. Let's get it on, y'all.
I'm here, baby.
Final game of a wild week 3 in the NFL. Wow, what a stop by the Eagles defense.
The rolling on the field stands.
And there won't be any need to review this one. Hurts the throw. Picked off. Trayvon Diggs, pick 6.
4th and 2 here. That was Dak Prescott doing his thing.
Just thankful for everything that I've been through, just to be back out here doing what I love at the greatest place to play football.
Good day. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to First Take. Thank you for being with us, Stephen A. Smith, Marcus Spears. Marcus, I like the fit.
Yo, appreciate it. I'm going back to school uniform.
I'm going back to school uniform. I want to say this. I appreciate the fact that you got a tie, because when you huffing and puffing and your shirt is open, you don't look like the pastor that you are. So it's good that you wearing a tie. We know I look smooth, but guess what, Swagoo? I got something that you're going to agree with me on totally. We can't mess around with Mollywood.
Oh, no, we cannot.
We can't. We have no hope. We have no hope. We have no hope.
She flexing.
She flexing today.
I'm trying.
She flexed.
I feel a little embarrassed right now. If I could blush, I would.
Hey,
Thank you guys.
Molly, Stephen A. just jealous when I don't have a tie on because the muscles be popping out. Something he ain't never had.
Hey, Marcus.
Stephen A. knows he's got a basketball
Marcus,
build.
can you see me? Marcus?
I got a better 1-2 combination than you do. All right, guys. You know who else has been looking smooth? Dak Prescott, looking like that deal. Have you seen him, Stephen A? The Cowboys lost a 2-point game to the defending champs, then beat a loaded Chargers team and blew out division rival Philly. Through 2 games this season, Dallas is averaging 30 points per game and has a top 5 rushing attack. As for Dak Prescott, completing nearly 78% of his passes. Best in the NFL. Marcus. I know you spent a lot of time there down in Dallas. Should the NFC start worrying about the Cowboys?
You damn right they should, Molly Q. And it's because of what they watch. And I hope they watching the same thing we've been watching with this offense and this defense that has 8 turnovers through the first 3 weeks. They look competent. You know, them being halfway better than they were last year defensively puts them in the conversation, because this offense is going to continue to build off of what we've seen them do already. So absolutely, when we're watching football now, right, the first thing our eyes lead to is who's good on offense. Who can score a lot of points? What team has the dudes in order to get it done? Dak is looking as good as any quarterback in the NFL right now. They play tough teams. They got a tough matchup coming up against the Panthers. The Panthers defense is not to be played with. So this will tell us more about the Dallas Cowboys. But bottom line is this. We railed and ranked on them last year about the situation, how they play football, and what it looked like. I tried to scream, they don't know what they're doing defensively. Once you know what you're doing, at least you can go play fast. And that's what they're doing, and that has led to 8 turnovers. And by the way, the Cowboys are playing man-to-man on defense. They are locking people down at this point. They played well against Tampa, gave up points expected to be against the former Super Bowl champions, but went toe-to-toe in Dak Prescott's first game after a year, 300 days missed of playing football. You damn right the NFC should be worried about the Dallas Cowboys.
Please. I mean, y'all kill me with the. No, they shouldn't be. Not yet. No. Let me tell you something right now. First of all, let's be very, very clear. I had the Cowboys as a top 3 team in the NFL on my list as of yesterday. But it's week 3. The list is fluid. I assure you, I'm not worried about the Dallas Cowboys. I'm just going to give them a little nuggets of props while they deserve it. But I'm not worried about them in the grand scheme of things. Let's understand something here right now. We're not talking about their offense. I'm tired of that. First of all, we knew they were going to win the division from Jump Street before a game was played just by looking at the NFC East. We saw Daniel Jones and Dave Gettleman in New York. We obviously saw Jalen Hurts, in Philadelphia. He's got some stuff to prove. He's young, and we know their offense is a bit shaky with him at the helm at this particular moment in time, even though I think he'll get better. And with the Washington football team, not only do you not have a name, you don't have a quarterback. Because 1 minute it was Ryan Fitzpatrick, okay? And the other time it was Taylor Meineke, the muffler man. That's what I call him. The muffler man.
Stephen A. Defense also hasn't been much perspective.
I call him the muffler man, all right? Their defense is what we talked about, but we knew they couldn't score. So by default, when you looked at Dak and Ezekiel and Amari and CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup and all of this other stuff, we said, hell, the Dallas Cowboys gonna win this division by default. What we looked at was their defense.
You ain't gonna boost your argument talk about default. They a good football team. They ain't even played nobody in their division yet.
Hold up.
All right, let me calm down because you starting that foolishness early this morning. You starting early.
Why you get so emotional? Why don't you calm down for a second? Let me go. Here's the deal. Defensively, they rank second to last against the pass. Number 2, not only did they lose to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they should have lost to the Chargers, okay? You got Keenan Allen falling in the end zone, that led to an interception when that should have been a touchdown. Don't get me started with some of the stuff that went their way with their lucky selves. They should be 1-2. But in the end, what this comes down to is this. I look at the NFC, and I'm telling you something right now. Before I think about Dallas, I'm looking at Green Bay. I'm looking at Tampa Bay, who already put something on them. I'm looking at New Orleans because of their defense. Let's not ignore that. And Michael Thomas will be back eventually. We hope anyway. Carolina is nothing to sneeze at, which I think Dallas will find out about this weekend. And the entire NFC West is no joke. I don't care about Seattle's struggles right now. We don't expect that to continue with Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf, and Tyler Lockett and those boys. We expect them to resurrect themselves and make amends. The entire NFC West is no joke. So when I look at that, I'm like, hell with the Cowboys in terms of a threat. And our last point is this, Marcus Spears. Are you ready for this? Are you sitting down and bracing yourself for what I'm about to say, Marcus? Because it's very important. It's moments like this that I love. Because while the Marcus Spears of the world and others talk about the Dallas Cowboys being a threat, the Dallas Cowboys hear stuff like that. And the more it's elevated, the more their expectations build. And the more expectations build, palms get sweaty, backsides get tight. And if there's any team that has proven in the modern era that they will fold under such pressure, it is the Dallas Cowboys. So all of y'all out there, y'all keep on talking. Y'all keep on singing their praises. Watch. All you doing is setting them up for a very, very dramatic fall. And I'm going to see it, and I'm going to love it.
Can I talk now?
You go ahead.
America, y'all better stop letting this man fool y'all. Because, see, this is what you do. And I know this about you because we FaceTime and talk a lot. This is what you do. It's only one damn team that's going to win the Super Bowl. And so you bet the odds. You bet the odds, and you put the Cowboys under your foot like you don't do for other teams in the NFL. Just wait. It will collapse. They will start listening. It will be one Super Bowl champion.
Cowboy fans deserve that.
We are here in the 3rd week of the season, and you listed off all of these teams about why not to be worried about the Dallas Cowboys. You watching the same damn thing I'm watching, but your emotion and the things you said won't allow you to acknowledge that the Dallas Cowboys. You won't acknowledge that they are top team in the NFC based on 3 weeks.
Why are you standing there acting like you Barry White or something? I'm just trying to be smooth. That ain't you. You just as emotional as anybody else. And by the way, on the record, I said I don't think the Cowboys gonna win a playoff game. I said that. Not a playoff game.
It's cool for you to think it.
Not a playoff game.
It's cool for you to think it. Since you want to go high voice, it's cool for you to think it.
I think so.
But the bottom line is what we have sample size wise. By the way, the Chargers just beat the Chiefs. In case you didn't see that game,
it's all right.
I see all the
games. You know that
is
because you told me
3 weeks into the season. 3 weeks into the season, the Dallas Cowboys are as good as any team in the NFL right now. Can we agree on that, or you going to stay emotional and say it's default?
Any team on both sides of the ball.
Any team on both sides of the ball? No.
I did not say better than any team. I said as good as any team we've watched. Okay. Are they as good as any team we watched through 3 weeks of the season?
They all right.
How about this team?
Already, we ain't 10 minutes into the show. Already, I got a towel.
Yeah, he needs one too. What's wrong with both y'all?
Here.
I think you're getting nervous. That's what it is. Y'all getting nervous.
Hold on.
Hey, don't be embarrassed.
Your loyalty. Hold on. I'm putting Molly on blast right now. Your loyalty. You're going to have to start showing your loyalty. This is first take. Don't nobody make me nervous up in this. Not nobody. Not him, not Keyshawn, not Michael Irvin, not Tebow, Orlovsky.
No, is he sweating?
Let
me see his forehead. Zoom in on that forehead.
Beads of sweat.
Them Cowboys got him nervous.
Don't be falling out your chair. Don't be falling out your chair, Mr. Cool. Not so cool right now.
You know?
Oh my goodness.
I did almost fall. They didn't let me know. I did almost fall right there. I did.
Stephen A., I'd catch you.
Really? I don't think Molly would catch me. Molly would be like this. Oh, damn.
That is a lie. That is a lie. Stop lying to America.
I'm just saying.
Let's get to a subject you like. That bad man, Aaron Rodgers, with another cathartic session. Rodgers airing it out on the field and on the mic, and we are here for all of it.
Well, it's a rough night, I guess, for some of those he doesn't care campers. It always is a special place for me to come back to Northern California, but I don't need any extra motivation or inspiration. It was a measuring stick for our football team, I think, to see how we matched up against another really good football team, and I'm proud of our guys.
Packers Super Bowl contenders?
Yes. Why wouldn't they be? They have Aaron freaking Rodgers. Say it with me, Spears. He's a bad man. You know what time it is. I mean, come on now. The fact of the matter is that, listen, when we look at the Green Bay Packers, the arguments I made against the Cowboys, one could easily make against the Packers.
Yeah.
Until you think about who their quarterback is. See, what we're seeing from Dak Prescott, we applaud and we should applaud because obviously he's playing some terrific football thus far for the most part. But we don't make a big deal out of Aaron Rodgers doing that. You know why? Because he's Aaron Rodgers. That's why. You remember KD, Marcus Spears? Remember KD? You know, I'm Kevin Durant. You know who I am. You know who I am. That's Aaron Rodgers, okay? You know who I am. And that's what these interviews with Pat McAfee is all about, who, by the way, is doing a great job with his show. The bottom line is this. You know who the hell he is. And so when you see Aaron Rodgers, you have to think about a league MVP. You have to think about a Super Bowl champion. You have to think about somebody that has proven as a talent at the quarterback position, he might be the greatest we've ever seen. And we were ready to anoint that title to Patrick Mahomes, as deservedly so, because he is an absolute stud. But over the last 2 weeks, he's come crumbling down to earth just a touch with their 2-game losing streak. And we've seen Aaron Rodgers throwing that football. And we're saying, wait a minute here. We thought that Patrick Mahomes wasn't capable of those things, but he is capable of those things. So now, Aaron Rodgers has reminded us at age 37, after all of these years in the NFL, fresh off a league MVP, he is the reigning league MVP. Yeah. Okay? He has put us on notice. All of this talk y'all been going off about, not just about my demise and all of this other stuff, which I think is a bit overblown because I think he's being ultra sensitive to all of that stuff. He had a bad game, and that's all anybody says. We all know how great and phenomenal Aaron Rodgers is, okay? And the people that get into his personal business and try to dissect his psyche and engage in character assassination, he should just curse them out and get it over with. I'm telling you, Aaron Rodgers is very cathartic. You should try it.
He basically
It's a beautiful thing to do. It's a beautiful thing to do. He should try it. Cussing people out sometimes is a beautiful thing. I'm here to tell you. I'm a witness. So the point that I'm making is
family program.
In the end, yes, family program, but damn it, that happens with family. And that's what needs to happen. And so here we are. Aaron Rodgers is where he is. But the bottom line is because of Aaron Rodgers, that is why the Packers are Super Bowl contenders. Strictly because of him. Period.
Well, that ain't enough. And right now, I don't see them as Super Bowl contenders because they skating by. They skated by the Detroit Lions. They had 37 seconds to push the ball down the field, and I agree with you. 12 is amazing. He's the best we've ever seen over this long period of time. But the bottom line is the Green Bay Packers got some problems, man. They got some real issues when it comes to their football team beyond Aaron Rodgers. They have struggled in these last 2 games. Had it not been for the amazing quarterback that they have, this team would be 1-2, potentially 0-3. That's the reality of it. Jimmy Garoppolo left too much damn time on the clock, and the Detroit Lions with Jared Goff decided they didn't want to play football no more in the second half. That's what it boils down to. Now, we can be emotional about it, and you can scream bad man and start talking all you want to talk about how great Aaron Rodgers is, just like you put the notch on the Dallas Cowboys in the first conversation. If you look at the Packers play, the first 3 games of the season, they've skated by with an all-world quarterback that is not going to get you where you need to be. Now, here's where I agree with you. Yeah, it's time to get better. It's time for them to still keep ascending and going up. And obviously, we get his team benefit of the doubt because 12 is their quarterback. But when you break down film and dissect it, the Packers got some issues, man. They got some serious issues. And the one issue that they have, which I'm concerned about, is not playing a full, complete game yet. And I want to see if it can happen. We've talked about this defense. We talked about them being the part that's hurting this team. We talked about, are they Super Bowl contenders for real? We need to find out because of this defense. Yes, you should be worried about the Green Bay Packers. But right now, they don't look like Super Bowl contenders to me.
Okay. You could say that, but the bottom line is they've been in the NFC Championship game the last 2 consecutive years, and we know why that is. Mm-hmm. 1 game away from the Super Bowl. We know why that is.
Let's stay with that. Marcus, would you say that Rodgers is the early MVP frontrunner?
No, Molly. The early MVP frontrunner is Derek Carr. That's the early MVP frontrunner. Derek Carr for the Las Vegas Raiders.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Flare your head. But I'm see, this is what happens on First Take with Stephen A. He want his guys to be the guys. He want to talk about his guys. But let me be respectful to football, because there is no one I would prefer say is the MVP frontrunner than Dak Prescott. That's what I would like to say this morning. Derek Carr has beat the Baltimore Ravens. He's beat the Miami Dolphins, and he's beat the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Before you go on.
Go ahead. Let me see.
Hold on. Before you go on, stop it. I got him. Before you go on any further, can y'all roll the tape for me, please, from a couple of weeks ago? Could y'all roll that tape?
Bring it back.
What tape?
I'm going to go ahead and say this. And you believe it or not, you laugh or not, but we're going to also be together for Wednesdays upon Wednesdays upon Wednesdays. Jameis Winston will be hovering around the MVP conversation by the end of the season. Put it down. Yes, I said it. What's today, Molly? What's today?
Today is
September
the 15th.
September 15th at 10:16 a.m. here on the East Coast. Swagoo said that Jameis Winston will be in the MVP conversation by season's end.
And now we on the Derek Carr.
What the hell that got to do with right now?
And now we on the...
Today's September 29th, if anyone wants to ask me the date.
See, here's the thing.
Now we on the Derek Carr.
It's my time. Ain't it my time? It's my time, right?
Go ahead.
So here's the thing. And Molly, I see that little smirk because you understand what's about to happen. You already know what's about to happen, Molly Q.
Tell me.
Derek Carr, right now, 3 weeks into the season, is playing quarterback at MVP level, and he's number 1. He's had the tougher road. He's had to lead a team that didn't know what they were going to be on defense, and he's beat 3 defenses that we all respect in the NFL. High level respect for all 3 of those teams. He's playing at a better clip than any quarterback right now. Now, I can be emotional about it and say, yeah, it should be Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Even though he had a phenomenal game, he threw 2 interceptions in that game. Derek Carr 3-0. The Las Vegas Raiders are 3-0. And you know what else he's doing? He's taking the top off of defenses. He's changing plays at the line of scrimmage. And he's doing all of this against guys that can actually play defense at a high level, like the highest level in the NFL. That's what Derek Carr has been doing. Now, we can get enamored. Kyler could be in that conversation. We're getting enamored with Kyler playmaking ability. He's thrown 4 interceptions. Derek Carr right now is the early NFL MVP front runner 3 weeks into the season. I said that.
Okay, well, what about Matthew Stafford? He's going
He should
up
be,
against...
he should be considered.
Hold on. Whoa. It's my turn.
Yeah,
the congregation is standing up.
You're right.
Fall
right.
back, Pastor.
Yep.
Here's the deal, okay? Matthew Stafford's undefeated. Mm-hmm. They just blew out the reigning defending Super Bowl champions. And in the process, Matthew Stafford is completing 70% of his passes to 64% of Derek Carr's passes. And oh, by the way, he's got 9 touchdowns and just 1 interception just far. And he's undefeated in the first place in what's arguably the toughest division in football. So we got to get that out the way. Then we got to take into account Derek Carr. Yeah, Monday Night Football, you go up against the Baltimore Ravens, and we understand that. And, you know, they had some of their issues, some of their injury issues and what have you. All right, week number 2, you go to Pittsburgh. Hurts my heart. Because, you know, I believed in my Steelers, and I was dead wrong, and I got to own that because, you know, I'm a diehard Steeler fan. I let my emotion get in the way. I'll admit that in all seriousness. It's a damn shame what has happened to them offensively. Their offense is so bad, it's offensive. That's how bad their offense is, okay? So it hurts me, all right? But nevertheless, I look at their defense. T.J. Watt goes down. Highsmith goes down. Bush was down. I forgot who else was down. They had like 4 starters that were out. Yeah. By the way, most of them have groin injuries. I don't know what the hell's going on with that. But nevertheless, that's a different subject for another day. But they had those injuries. That's who Derek Carr ended up beating. And then just last week, who did they go against? They went against Miami, who's on a fast track to nowhere because they can't find a quarterback. Their offense is draining their defense because they can do absolutely nothing and what have you. And we standing here and applauding Derek Carr like he's the second coming. He's not a scrub. He can ball. I respect the hell out of him. I'm rooting for him. I'm happy for him, even though I've had to call John Gruden out from time to time because of some of the decisions he has made. I'm really rooting for them because I like John Gruden, and I think football is better to watch when the Raiders are relevant. But let's pump the brakes just a touch and let this same team, this same Derek Carr, who had a 6-3 record last year and ultimately lose 5 games in 6 weeks, let's see what he does because numbers-wise, we see other people who are doing just as well, if not better. And oh, by the way, let's see what he does when competition stiffens.
Carr has the same QBR as Aaron Rodgers, actually.
Okay.
Jameis Winston's is even higher.
Molly, don't explain nothing to him.
Week 1.
Well, I'm just telling you the numbers.
He don't want to hear it. But I just told him. So you should know now, Stephen A., that Derek Carr is the front runner because I just told you.
I just said Stafford. I think Stafford should be here ahead of him. And don't you drink tea on here. I'm the one that drinks tea on this show. Don't you think that you could do it?
I'm just trying to coat my throat. Don't you think that you could do it? I'm trying to coat my throat because it's like a boxer throwing jabs and they all connecting. So I'm trying to coat my throat.
We have boxing news we need to get into as well. Speaking of
Manny Pacquiao, absolutely.
No, more than that. We'll get into it later.
Wow.
All right. I've heard enough from these two. I need to hear from LeBron James. So should Fields start on Sunday?
No, he shouldn't start. Matt Nagy has shown his incompetence. I screamed this all offseason about Justin Fields needed to start because I thought Matt Nagy learned from his Mitchell Trubisky disaster. I thought he would put Justin Fields in a better situation to at least try to have success. And you know what? If the Chicago Bears are going to keep Matt Nagy, Justin Fields and this team need to figure out what other team they can try to go play for, with a coach that's going to give him an opportunity to play. Look no further than the New York Jets with Adam Gase and Sam Darnold and see what's happening right now with the Carolina Panthers. We heard Mitchell Trubisky tell us, and I don't know if we all believed him when he got to Buffalo, about how competent Brian Daboll was and how he felt like he was learning how to play the position at a very high level. And obviously in the preseason, Mitchell Trubisky came out and played well against the Chicago Bears, and it looked like Mitchell Trubisky from his rookie year. It was a lot of the same things that he did to send himself to the Pro Bowl. So at the end of the day, we can have all of these conversations about Matt Nagy's incompetence. Y'all all know how I feel about that. We can have this conversation about the quarterback situation in Chicago, and I feel terrible for the Chicago Bears fans that I need to say this. But for Justin Fields and his future, If the Chicago Bears are going to keep going with Matt Nagy, Justin Fields needs to figure out a way to go play for another team with a competent coach that can put him in a position to have success. Yes, he's a rookie. Yes, rookies struggle in football, but I damn sure want him to have a chance to display the things that they're good at. And Matt Nagy absolutely did not do that for Justin Fields in the first game of his career.
I just want to ask Marcus, what is the best predictor of future behavior? Past behavior. So I don't even need you to answer. It's past behavior. So when you look at the Chicago Bears situation, what exactly gave you confidence that Matt Nagy would be able to take Justin Fields and have him out there and develop him in 3 games? Because here's the thing. No, I don't. Because this is why I do not like these rookie QBs starting. I know I'm in the minority, but because all of these situations are different and there are a lot of variables, and there's nothing about the Chicago Bears. I will not, first of all, let me just say this. I will not call for somebody to be fired. I don't think that's okay. I will not do that. But when you look at Nagy's history with Mitchell Trubisky, they've had 5 quarterbacks since he's been the head coach. And what happened? They moved up in this draft to get another quarterback. Matt Nagy did not want to play Justin Fields this early. Had Andy Dalton not gotten hurt, we would not be seeing Justin Fields. They have a bad offensive line. To say, oh, well, he's athletic. He can escape pressure. I was at that game. No, he could not. He's still fast, but he's not faster than Myles Garrett. That's the difference in the NFL. You put a rookie QB behind a bad offensive line without much to work with, not give him any help. The Cleveland Browns were shocked that that the Bears didn't at least use what Justin Fields is good at. The Browns, the opponent, was shocked by that. So this is why I'm a little concerned about the Chicago situation.
What you doing, man? What are you doing?
I'm just getting emotional right now because, Marcus, I don't know if, it's one thing, I don't mind beating up on y'all and tangling with y'all and all that other stuff. But the ladies, I expect Molly. Molly has just betrayed me. She's been throwing me under the bus week after week.
Get out of here.
Mina is supposed to have love for me, and she comes on and she's so abusive to me. And then I said, it's all right because I got Kimberly. You know what I'm saying? I got Kimberly. I got my girl. We go way back. You know what I'm saying? Kimberly and I go way back. And then all of a sudden she came in here a couple of weeks ago and not only brought up Dak Prescott, Marcus, she had film on me, bro. She had film on me. And I was like, oh my God, why are y'all doing this to me? And then I lost all faith. And then Kimberly comes here today. I'm just getting emotional right now. Hold on. Kimberly comes here today and she completely agrees with me because that's exactly what I was thinking. There is hope after all because what she's really saying, Marcus Spears, Pastor Spears, okay, swag you. What she's really saying is, where the hell have you been? We told you about Justin Fields with Matt Nagy before the season started. You going up there, you sticking out your chest, you huffing and puffing about what the hell is Andy Dalton starting for? What's he going to do? We said it's Matt Nagy, bro. It's that offensive line. You don't need to do that. And he went out and did it anyway. So here's the bottom line. You bring up Andy Dalton, and you say Andy Dalton gets hurt, but you act like that's the reason you have to play Justin Fields. No, you did not. Mm-hmm. You did not. You could have played Nick Foles, Super Bowl champion Nick Foles. Andy Dalton never won one of those. Andy Dalton didn't come back the following season once Carson Wentz went down again and got the Eagles to the playoffs. And I do get it that it was years ago. Please, I understand that. What I'm simply saying is you don't throw Justin Fields into that situation. My argument was wait until the Detroit Lions in week 4, who, by the way, haven't looked that bad, even though they're 0-3. But the point is they haven't looked that bad. I said, throw him in against them. Don't throw him in against Myles Garrett and Davion Clowney and those boys. And they ended up having 6.5 sacks. I know that Matt Nagy is every bit as awful, Marcus, as you said. But there's no surprise. And Kimberly was absolutely right. It's been there. The evidence has been there. She don't have to call for him to be fired. You don't have to do it. I don't have to do it. You know what we can do? He's awful. He's awful right now. And whatever the Bears want to do with an awful-looking head coach that doesn't seem to modify his approach to the game is their business. But they apparently need to do something.
Well, slap me for thinking I had some damn common sense, because one thing Matt Nagy know is that his job is on the line. The other thing he knows is what they gave up to get Justin Fields. And what I thought he should know is that if we went up and traded picks away to draft this quarterback, I probably should build an offense around his skill set. That's my bad. And that's why I have said continuously after this debacle against the Cleveland Browns that I don't understand why Justin Fields would play anymore, and he shouldn't have played week 1. I'm fooled, I'm bamboozled, I'm hoodwinked for having a little slight confidence and thinking that Matt Nagy had some damn common sense not to play the same situation Justin Fields as he played with Andy Dalton and Nick Foles. And think about this for a second. This man got on TV yesterday, I think, and said all 3 quarterbacks are up and could potentially start.
Ridiculous.
Chicago, your coach don't know what the hell he doing. He has no idea what he's doing, because this team made a commitment to go get Justin Fields, and you want to. So Stephen A., you like basketball, right? You're a basketball guy.
No. It's Stephen Naismith.
Stephen A. Smith is the basketball guy.
Continue.
If I told you, hey, Stephen A., I'm going to trade for Michael Jordan, and we going to run a motion offense, and we got to pass the ball 6 times before we take a jump shot, what would you say to that?
I'd say you don't need to be on the team.
And then when I'm looking at Michael Jordan's skill set and I'm trying to bring him to my team, don't you think I would have the common sense to say, you know what? We probably should run this offense through him. We probably should ask him, what do you feel best doing, and what does your skill set allow us to do from an offensive standpoint?
Well, yeah.
Hey, slap me for thinking that a coach in the NFL wouldn't do that.
Good.
I told you so, Marcus. That's all.
That's what you
just told me Justin Fields shouldn't start. You didn't tell me Matt Nagy didn't know how to coach damn football.
Whoa. Monitor your tone.
No,
get it. Marcus is getting. You don't have to monitor anything.
And by the way, if in case anybody wondering, because ain't nobody around here would slap Marcus, but I'd give Kendrick Perkins and Damian Woody a chance.
Oh my God. All right. Head on first take.
That's brother on brother crime. We ain't doing that.
Tom Brady is the GOAT when it comes to the NFL. There's no debate vaccine, but ultimately decided to get it for the well-being of himself, his family, and his team. Lakers president of basketball operations and general manager Rob Pelinka said last week that he expected his entire roster to be deemed fully vaccinated by opening night of the regular season mid-October. While the King got vaccinated himself, he's not trying to make that decision for anybody else. Take a listen.
You guys should know me. Anything that I talk about, I don't talk about other people and what they should do. I speak for me and for my family, and that's what it's about.
But you don't think the issue is important enough for someone with your stature to speak out on it?
We're talking about individuals' bodies. We're not talking about something that's, political or racism or police brutality and things of that nature. We're talking about like people's bodies and well-beings. So I don't feel like, for me personally, that I should get involved in what other people should do for their bodies and their livelihoods.
Big Perk, gracing your screen. Perk, good to see you. Stephen A., I'm going to start with you. Does LeBron need to be more vocal when it comes to NBA players getting vaccinated?
I don't think he needs to be more vocal now.
Okay.
But what he did yesterday, he should have done a long time ago. Let me be very, very clear. What I'm saying is that guys can get very, very slick, and they can parse words and what have you. We all know who LeBron James is. We all know how significant he is. For those of us who don't know or refuse to recognize it, he certainly has not hesitated to remind us. He is a businessman extraordinaire on multiple levels. He is wealthy, not rich. He is on the Mount Rushmore of basketball, one of the greatest athletes to have ever graced this earth. He is an individual that has been an incredible role model on so many levels, and he's to be applauded for all of that. Mm-hmm. And he took the liberty to take the bull by the horn and be front and center on a plethora of issues that affect our community. As I said before on many occasions, Kurt, Kendrick Perkins, Swagoo. I was hesitant to take the vaccine myself.
Yeah.
Guy by the name of Dennis Pullen, president for Virtual Health in South Jersey, brings me to South Jersey, calls me on the phone because he's known me for years, gets me on the phone, says, what the hell are you doing? What are you doing here? This is too important. And brings me to an ICU where I saw nothing in there but black people because so many black people were hesitant to take the vaccine, and a lot of folks in white America were gobbling up the vaccines. Not that it wasn't available, but they were taking it is all I mean by that, and black folks were not doing so. And so when you saw the detrimental impact that it was having on our community, that's where I felt compelled to step up and take the vaccine. Plain and simple. ESPN didn't ask me to take it. Nobody asked me to take it except Dennis Pullen. And when I saw what I saw, I did what I did. That's just me. What I'm saying about LeBron is LeBron has been and has chosen to be front and center on a plethora of issues. And this notion that it's a privacy matter, it's about your body or whatever, well, over 6 billion people worldwide have taken the vaccine. And so when we look at it, certainly you don't have to. Yeah. And we understand that, and you shouldn't be in people's face condemning them if they don't. But what you need to do is do the research as expeditiously as you possibly can to make sure that you're informed as quickly as you possibly can be so you can disseminate whatever message you feel needs to be disseminated, as opposed to choosing this to be quiet. Whereas you had so many things that affected our community. People were dying in our community. And I felt like anybody that had a voice should have done their research sooner than later and made sure they made a decision and move forward and at least be open about what you choose to do. And then you back out of it. I think he did that yesterday. He said, it's a personal choice. After doing my research, me and my family are vaccinated. Boom, we got it now. Vaccine's been out for damn near a year now. And we just heard from LeBron James yesterday. My issue is, and my only issue is, it should have been sooner that he said exactly what he said yesterday. That's my only issue.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, Stephen A. My thing is we don't know when LeBron actually got vaccinated, right? So we don't know when he was really allowed to actually speak on the situation. Now, what I got from the message yesterday from his interview was that it was a message inside the message. We all know LeBron James is what? One of the guys to play for a long time, one of the guys that's known for taking care of his body, and one of the guys that leads by example. And his body of work speaks for it. That's on the court. So when he talk about his body and his temple, and he talk about how he did the research and how he got the vaccine, and that each person is allowed to put whatever they want to put in their body. And what the message that I got is, okay, if LeBron, who's one of the smartest individuals in the basketball world, in my mind, like far as when he think things out thoroughly and things to that nature, if he's okay and he's take the vaccine, to me, I thought the message was very clear that he let his actions speak more than his words by saying, hey, I'm vaccinated. So now the rest of the league is looking around and saying, dang, Braun finally came out and said, I'm vaccinated. So it must be okay. Like you said, Stephen A., somebody had to basically, because you were hesitant along with me, somebody had to influence you to go get vaccinated. And that was the same thing with me. Once I started seeing people that I trust and go sit down and actually get a shot in their arm, I said, okay, now it's time for Big Perk to go sit down and get it done as well. You know, and for after doing my research. But here's the thing with the research, right? Everybody's a researcher now, okay? Everybody's a damn doctor, right? And this is not the first time that we've dealt with this. Just think about it. When we was in school in the 60s or the 70s or the 80s or 90s, you were getting shots for the measles. We didn't know what that was at the time, to be honest. And now, you know, as an athlete, you have surgery, okay? You have surgery on injuries, and a doctor tell you, hey, look, take this at 8 o'clock for swelling, and you don't even question it. You don't go, you just pop the pill a damn Skittle. Or if they tell you take it for pain, you so much in pain, you ain't researching it. You need your pain medicine every 4 hours. So my thing is that all the quote unquote researchers out there, You've been trusting doctors all your life. What's the problem now?
Go ahead, Spears.
It's got to be information from trusted sources. It's a great point. Marcus?
Yeah, listen, both of you make great points. Here's what I will say, because this has become such a convoluted topic when it comes to whether dudes are going to choose to take the vaccine or not. And to Perk's point, for me, it's simple. Like, and both of y'all know me, it's simple. Get on TV when somebody asks you, are you vaccinated? And say, I'm not, and I don't want to be. And deal with the consequences. That's the reality of it. There are consequences for dudes that's playing in the NBA, for us that work here at ESPN, for dudes playing in the NFL. There are protocols and there are consequences that you are going to have to deal with that vaccinated guys won't have to. That's one point. The other point is, when you look at this situation with LeBron, Stephen A., and I understand what you're saying, because we in the generation of influencers now. We got people that's selling all kind of products because people follow them. I think what LeBron did yesterday will cause some guys to either take a deeper dive or go get a vaccination shot, right? I dealt with this personally in my aunt, Mickey, spent 3 months in the hospital from COVID, and it was touch and go for 2 months. So I understood the gravity. My mom lives with me, who's 60 plus years old. I ain't gonna give her real age because she's gonna call me and curse me out. 60 plus years old. She went and got vaccinated before anybody in my family went to get vaccinated. And I looked at that particular situation and I said to myself, okay, I have this responsibility to my wife and my 3 children. I have this responsibility to my mom who lives in the house. So that was my decision-making process. The point I'm getting to is when these guys get on television and tell me that they have to do research, and when these guys get on TV and tell me, well, I'm just waiting to see and I'm trying to find out what the parameters are. No, you're not, man. Just say, I don't want to take the damn shot. And be done with it and deal with the things that come along with that. You're going to be criticized for taking it. You're going to be criticized for not taking it. I don't want you to stand in the middle or play this clock game with everybody. I don't want to take it. That's what I would get on TV and say if that was my decision. But it's because they all are in this whole mood of, well, I don't know how this side of the crowd gonna react. I don't know how this side of the crowd gonna react. Man, stand firm in what you believe. Stand firm in what you gonna do when it comes to the shot or not, and deal with the consequences. That's the bottom line. The problem with the consequences without taking it, you may end up in the ICU. That's the consequences that you have to deal with.
Or put somebody else in the ICU.
Absolutely.
Let's not forget that. Ding, ding, ding.
And at the end of the day, what they all saying and what we all saying is stop lying. The fact of the matter is COVID's been around for damn near 2 years. All right, you've had all of this time. You play basketball for a living. You have time to research if you deem the need to do so.
And these dudes got access.
So
these dudes got access. They got access to the best doctors in the world, bro.
That's right.
All right, we got to go to break here, guys. Perk will be back with us later. Still ahead on First Take, Bears coach Matt Nagy being vague with the media about who should start on Sunday. Reasons saying it doesn't work on the court between he and Joel Embiid. Perk joins the show later to explain why he's not buying it and says he knows the real reason Ben wants out. Speaking of relationships, we knew the relationship between Tom Brady and Bill Belichick was strained leading up to the quarterback's departure for Tampa Bay, but just how bad? We're now getting even more details thanks to excerpts from the book It's Better to Be Feared by ESPN senior writer Seth Wickersham have been released ahead of Sunday's Patriots-Buccaneers game at Gillette Stadium. Brady called it telling that the goodbye with Belichick came over the phone rather than in person when Belichick said he wasn't available to meet face to face. Wow. Kimberly Martin still here with us after 20 years. Stephen A., if that is true, that Bill and Tom broke up over the phone, what's your reaction to that?
It's unfortunate. Very believable. If you remember when the news broke that Tom Brady was leaving the Patriots, we were right here on the set, and I reported, based on a couple of sources that I had, that if Bill Belichick had wanted Tom Brady to stay in New England, he would have stayed. And Tom Brady, if he was willing to stay, they would have worked it out. It wasn't about money. It was about the fact that Bill Belichick didn't want him there anymore. He wanted to move on. The reasons are the reasons. Bill Belichick's greatness cannot be questioned. He's an 8-time champion. 6 as a head coach, Two, as a coordinator, we know what he brings to the table. But we also know that a lot of his success and his greatest success came from Tom Brady being his guy. And I think one of the things that I've religiously stated, and I will stick to this point forever and always, particularly in a capitalistic society, everybody ain't equal. We need to get the hell over that. That's what makes America great. That's why people go through so many hoops to come over to this country, because they have dreams and aspirations that they can achieve, not just the normal average thing that somebody can achieve. They can ultimately go for it all. You can be things that you never dreamed you'd be able to be in your wildest dreams. And so when we think about that, we have to take that into consideration when it comes to all of this. Tom Brady is Tom Brady. He's not just anybody. He's not just anybody. And when you have a guy, no matter how successful and great he is, no matter how much he assisted in the greatness that Tom Brady put forth, when you have a guy that's so rigid, that's so stubborn, and so sold on his own convictions that you can't gumption up the nerve to somewhat modify or alter your way of thinking or your way of doing things for this individual, it sends the message that to you, no one is special. And ultimately, somewhere in life, that will come back to bite you, because people who are special because they strive to be special, and they don't want to be treated like they're just anybody else.
Right. Can I piggyback that?
Yeah, sure.
I would just say this. Be glad it was a phone call, because with Belichick, I'd expect it would be a Post-it note, like some Sex in the City type stuff. Because what we've seen from Bill, he's an android. He does not have feelings. He does not show feelings. He doesn't want you to see feelings. And that is part of how he's been able to move about and coach the way he has, because it is a business. At the end of the day, the ways in which he benches guys, how he talks to certain guys in practice, how he talked to Tom a lot of times, that is who Belichick is. So there's a difference between is the phone call right and is it expected? Because no, as Steven said, Tom Brady is built differently. We're talking about greatest of all time different. So no, he deserved a little bit more than a phone call. But on the flip side, that doesn't surprise me at all that Belichick wouldn't meet, if this is true, Belichick wouldn't meet face to face, because I am turning the page on you. It is that X that says it's me, not you. This is just not working anymore. I gotta go. Like he turned the page and moved on. So I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah, but sometimes when your ex dump you, they can look stupid as hell. And that's what Bill Belichick looks right now. Because the bottom line is this. Like, for you to spend 20 years with this man and experience this type of success, and you can't get a meeting. If Tom Brady tried to reach out and meet with Bill Belichick, and Belichick only wanted to take a phone call, that's stupid. Okay, like, we could talk about the stone face. Look, I played for a Belichick guy in Nick Saban. I played for a guy that the same class of guys, with Bill Parcells in the NFL, with Nick Saban in college when I played for him at LSU. The bottom line is what Stephen A. said, and this is something Nick Saban used to tell us all the time. Everybody be treated fair, but everybody ain't equal. That's the bottom line. Like, Bill Belichick, he owed a face-to-face meeting with Tom Brady. Absolutely. Because Bill Belichick, and look, this is not to take away anything from him being a great coach. Two things can be true. Bill Belichick was the GM and the head coach. He deserves a lot of credit for what transpired in in New England. But we also know that Tom Brady had a lot to do with that, and a lot to do with how that team functioned, from not only from a football on the field standpoint, but from a contract standpoint, allowing guys to be around him. Belichick had tremendous players. There's a lot of guys through that 20-year span that's going to get gold jackets, and some that already have them. So this is not to discredit Bill Belichick's career and the success that he's had. But the bottom line in this particular situation, when we're talking about the greatest player to ever play the game, that ain't nothing you sneeze at. And if somebody gonna get on anything and say that Bill Belichick shouldn't have met with Tom Brady because he was through with him, they stupid too. Yeah. Swagoo calling you stupid.
No, you're so right. It's extremely weak and it's disrespectful.
Yeah.
And it's low character.
Well, let me say this to you. Hold on. Let me say this to you. as we all know, there are things that go on behind the scenes that we may not be aware of as it pertains to their direct communication with one another. We also have to remember that Bill Belichick had Tom Brady in his 20s, like Alex Guerrero said, his trainer. We have to remember something very, very important here. When Bill Belichick inherited Tom Brady didn't have Giselle. Why is that so important? Because I'm talking to two ladies up here. I'm going to keep it real with you. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all got cachet, damn it. What y'all feel matters. And the reality of the situation is that you will alter a man's life in a very, very good way. However, that good way for him might not be that good way for Bill Belichick. Because Bill Belichick once had control of the dude want to come in, first one to leave, first one to arrive, last one to leave, no commitments during the day but other than you and all of this other stuff. And now you got to share them. You don't know what kind of impact that may have had. In the end, though, here's what it comes down to. We could say anything we want, and we all feel the same way because it's Tom Brady we talking about. But where it really, really hits home is this. Oh, Bill Belichick, you better win, brother. You better win. Because that android that you're talking about, I must admit, I'm telling you right now, I've seen Bill Belichick at Celtics games. Oh, he's got passion then. He don't look like an android then. He's having a good old time when he's at those Celtics games hanging out with his loved ones. Oh, he's a completely different person than you see on the sideline or the press conference during the football season. But I will tell you this. In the end, what it comes down to is he better win. Because if he don't win, everybody's going to look at Tom Brady and they're going to look at him and say, what have you done? And that's going to be something that will affect him.
But I just have to say one more time, there's a right way and a wrong way to do things. And I don't care what strains happen in relationships or what kind of disappointments, what kind of hurts. You sit down and you look somebody in the eye. Like a man, after 20 years, everything that they've been through, a phone call is
Agreed,
weak.
But this is a business. For Belichick to conduct business as the decisions. No, I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying what we've seen from Belichick. This is his MO. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm saying he should treat Brady differently. But he's showing you that he's not going to. So this is right. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised by it.
The only thing I would say, Marcus, real quick, and I'll give you the last word, is this. We don't know if he met with him a month earlier and was like, I want you to get up out of here to his face. We don't know that. And you got to remember, when this news broke, we didn't know that detail. We're learning it now, more than a year later. So understand when you talk about there's a right way and there's a wrong way, I don't disagree with you, but the conversation that you're talking about, they may have had face-to-face. And Belichick may have made it clear at that moment.
Well, we're reacting to these details and believing that it's true. In closure, there was no face-to-face. I'm just telling you how I would feel personally, professionally. I would feel disrespected.
Yeah, he should.
I would want eye contact, sit down with someone. It's a lack of respect.
That's why.
Education is everything. Brings opportunities. Stephen A., it's HBCU Week. You're a brand ambassador. Tell us about the event.
Well, first of all, I just want to thank Ashley Christopher and Mayor Pasicki, the mayor for Wilmington, Delaware. They've done a fabulous job. They're really the brainchilds behind all of this. Over the last 2 years or so, we've generated over 3,000 scholarships, in excess of $12 million in scholarships for folks to attend HBCUs, and we expect this year to be bigger and better than ever, because last year, obviously, you hit a bump in the road because of COVID, but still in all, we were able to generate what we've been able to generate. And one of the proudest moments of my career is to be able to be associated with this venture, because it's doing a lot of good for a lot of people, particularly from impoverished communities that wouldn't otherwise be able to afford going to an institution of higher learning, which an HBCU clearly is. So I'm incredibly touched by it. I'm honored to be a part of it. And I'm proud of Ashley Christopher and Mayor Pasicki for the wonderful job they have done over the years and what they continue to do.
And you're a proud alum of an HBCU, and look how successful you are. And again, can't reiterate enough, my mother was a teacher. Education opens doors. Meanwhile, one of our ESPN colleagues decided to go back to campus. Check it out.
This is it. This is the home and the birthplace.
Where it all started, right here.
I'm Bill Roden, writer-at-large for The Undefeated. Each college football season takes me back to my own roots, which started 53 years ago at Morgan State University. I'm taking on the challenge of exploring the roots of HBCU culture through football, and I'm enlisting the help of a few fellows along the way.
This is a special moment for me. You're talking about a man right here, host of the Undefeated's Black History Month Always Special, airing on September 29th on ESPN, plus the one and only Bill Rhoden right here with yours truly. What's going on, Bill? How are you, sir?
Stephen A., how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. It's good to see you. Why this project? Why now? Tell us about it.
Yeah, Steve, you asked me a question the other day which kind of haunted me, and it's basically, why do HBCUs matter? And I've been thinking about it, and I was thinking about it. It matters because, A, it matters to me. Going to Morgan changed the entire trajectory of my life. And I work with Rhoden Fellows. You've spoken to them. These are we're on our fifth class of 6 kids from 6 HBCUs, and every single class challenges me. They remind me that that our job is to basically hand back, pass the torch. And there are a lot of kids, man, who they see you. They see that you went to Winston-Salem State, say you went to Morgan. And it sounds kind of corny, but they do this and they get hope. They said, you know what, we could be at a Winston-Salem State or Morgan or Hampton or Grambling, and we basically can reach very high levels. And so this trip, I took this trip. We did 5 states, 25,000, 2,500 miles, and basically to explore the roots of how we got here, how did HBCUs, why we continue to survive and thrive. And it was very eye-opening, man. I must tell you, it was. I didn't learn a lot of new, but it reminded me of what HBCUs have done for me and what they can continue to do.
You were at Morgan State University. You talking about in the 1960s, man. I don't mean to tell on you like that, but you look damn good, so it's okay. But you were there back then. But even now, here we are in the year 2021. I want to know what message do you want to send to America and to the world about what HBCUs are and how HBCUs should be perceived?
Yeah, most young people now go to predominantly white institutions, but the largest concentration of young Black students are at HBCU. Some of the most talented students, man, who you will find, they're talented, they're driven, they know who they are, and we've both gone through that, and they know that life isn't handed to them on a silver plate. That coming from an HBCU, it requires dedication. It requires commitment, and there's still a need. There's still a need for HBCUs. They're very strong, Black, powerful institutions that teach a lot of our young people how to roar. And I think that's sort of what's missing with a lot of young kids who go to PWIs and they spend their entire lives being in the minority. I think for 4 years of your life, it's great to be in the majority, to see Black leaders. And like I said, to hear what it's really like to roar. And I think that's really, really important. And it's important for not only other people to know, but it's important for our community to know that we matter, we're here, and we have great leaders, man. We've been producing great leaders for years. I mean, the Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris, is a Howard University person. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, this whole trip just reinforced to me, Stephen A., why HBCUs matter and the roots of HBCUs.
Last question to you before we get on out of here. By the way, PWI, for those of you who don't know, that's predominantly white institutions as opposed to an HBCU. Everybody may not know that, so let me make sure they know that. Here we are in a time where name, image, and likeness is really, really taking over college sports, because obviously laws have been passed that allows for the student athlete to really, really profit off their own name, image, and likeness. Having said all of that, how much do you think that will help HBCUs recruit more African Americans to come to HBCUs, some of these top athletes to come to HBCUs, if at all? That's my last question to you real quick.
Yeah, I think it could help. You've already seen Deion Sanders at Jackson State take advantage of that. But he's known, and he's kind of spread the wealth by bringing some of his players into the sphere of advertisement. So I think in the short term, Stephen A., I think that could really help level the playing field.
Bill Rhoden, always appreciate you, my man. Thank you so much. Black History Month, always. Airs September 29th, ESPN Plus, the great Bill Rhoden himself. Thanks a lot, buddy. I appreciate it. Talk to you soon.
Thank you, Stephen A.
All right. Molly?
Yeah, both of you. Class act. Representation, so important. Paying it forward. Still ahead, which one quarterback has impressed Stephen A. and Marcus the most so far through 3 weeks? They can only choose one. Don't go anywhere.
That have happened a bit, in between, and I know a little bit about all of that, but that's not really for me to deal. I just feel like it is a business, even though you got stuff going off the court and stuff, but people don't really look at you as a human being. But at the end of the day, you just gotta take care of your business. You gotta do what you gotta do based on what you get paid for.
All right, Big Perk back here with us, and Perk, obviously, we're hearing that on Simmons' side, but what's the real reason that you're hearing Simmons wants out of Philly?
Well, Molly, is simple. He's scared. He's scared. And it's not because of basketball or playing with Joel and B and that the process don't work, because he didn't think about the process when he signed that 5-year, $77 million extension. He didn't think about it not working then. Here's the fact. Ben Simmons played poorly the last part of the season. We all witnessed that. We all know. I think the brother probably took, 3 shots in 7 games against the Atlanta Hawks in the fourth quarter. 3. And so at the end of the day, right now, Ben Simmons is pointing the finger at everybody except who we need to be pointed at. And that's Ben Simmons. Look, it's not easy. I get it, right? As a professional athlete or doing anything that you have to deal with a crowd or deal with feedback on social media or whatever the case may be. But he's afraid to face the crowd. He's afraid to step in that arena and hear those boos and silence the critics. And this is part of the reason why I get so angry at guys, is because it allows these old school guys like Stephen A. and everybody else to say, you know what, this generation is soft. Not talking down on the actual skill set, but the mindset. The mindset of going out there and saying, you know what, I got the mentality. I was watching the Gilbert Arenas podcast. Love and respect the brother. And I heard him say, Doc Rivers didn't use him right and he should be used and put in a position like Giannis. Well, he's not Giannis. And it's because of the mindset. We saw what Giannis did last year in the finals. He went to the free throw line, something that we thought that he couldn't do, or he showed us that he couldn't do. He went and knocked down, I believe it was 17 out of 19 free throws on the biggest stage of basketball. And so when I look at certain situations, I take even looking at, television, for example. Can you put us up where I can see everybody's faces? I need to see everybody's faces. Sure. Because you think about television, right? And people think it's easy. I got a whole lot of respect for Stephen A. I got a whole lot of respect for Molly. I got a whole lot of respect for Swagoo. You know why? Because I'm new in this TV area, right? Y'all been doing it for a very long time and doing a great job at it. And I get stopped all the time and they ask me, is it, Perk? How you deal with it? How is it going being on TV? And you know what? When I first started, I had a lot of critics. Oh, Perk ain't gonna be on TV for long. He speak with broken English. He's not that good. He don't use big words. He don't do this. But look, I didn't sit back. I didn't cry about it. I got better at my craft. I'm going to continue to get better at it. And I'm going to continue to come on here and be myself and continue to prove people wrong. And then all of a sudden, you start to see these people starting to say, hey, you know what? I'm starting to actually like Kendrick Perkins. I'm starting to actually like what he brings to the table. And we all have experienced that. But you got to have a mental toughness about yourself, some type of grown man mentality about, I'm about to silence critics, and he don't have it.
Let me say this to you. First of all, I am proud of you because you got better and better and you continue to get better and better and you do great television. I'm proud of you and I'm proud of what you've done in this business and what you will continue to do. That's number one. Let me get that out of the way. Number two, I want to give love to the Gilbert Arenases of the world, the Joe Buddens of the world, and others. Not just the athletes, but a lot of cats doing these podcasts because they do a damn good job with it. Yep. We need to give them credit where credit is due, and I respect them brothers as well. Number three, let me get back to Ben Simmons. I don't disagree with what you're saying because I'm on the record. I think it's pretty weak, and I think it's pretty weak because he pointing the finger at everybody but himself. You should feel compelled to make up to the fans in Philadelphia how you performed in the series against the Atlanta Hawks rather than running away from Philadelphia. You should want to run back to Philadelphia. And I'll tell you why, if you've Ben Simmons, why you should want to run back. Because my brother, Ben Simmons, if you are watching, you are literally a jump shot away from being LeBron James 2.0.
Yep.
If this brother hits 70 to 75% of his free throws, he is so special at 6'10", with those ball handling and passing skills, that basketball IQ, combined with his defensive prowess. This brother is an elite talent that could be a superstar in this league. And as a person that wrote in Philadelphia for 17 years, as a college writer, and then an NBA writer, and then an NBA columnist, before I became a general sports columnist, I'm telling you right now, I couldn't find 3 places in America better to be a star in than the city of Philadelphia in terms of a fan base that will come out and ride and die with you so long as you that dude. You understand? AI is a testament to that. AI never won a championship. When have you ever heard somebody talking about AI negatively when it comes to his heart? He's a warrior. I mean, he was a man operating in a land of giants, and the number one element, it wasn't a crossover, it wasn't how he danced on people, it wasn't him jumping above the rim, it damn sure wasn't his defensive prowess or him pulling up the Jays or averaging even 28 to 30. What they loved about AI most was that he was a warrior. You knew he wasn't scared of a damn soul, and he didn't run from Philadelphia. He was like, let's go. Give me the rock and let me show you how I'm going to do this. And so we got to pay attention and understand that element that you're saying, Kendrick Perkins, is right about Ben Simmons. Here's the only thing that I would say. He was complaining about the 76ers long before last season, long before Doc Rivers arrived. He'd been complaining about the 76ers since Brett Brown was there, and it took the ball out of his hands in the fourth quarter in favor of giving it to Jimmy Butler and running things through Jimmy Butler and Joel Embiid while he was roaming around the baseline there. Ben Simmons didn't like that, and he didn't like how he was being utilized by Brett Brown. So that is legitimate. It's not just about the fans, even though he'll deny it, that it's about the fans at all because he don't want the fans against him. He'll talk about it being about against the organization. But the organization is the same organization you signed your contract extension for. You're still owed $147 million for, all right? And to not show up to work a year after signing that contract extension is egregious. And if he don't show up to work, it will be held against him because everybody in the league will assume he's the kind of dude that's going to quit on you. He better be careful. Spears, the floor is yours.
Yo, we got a saying in Louisiana, Ben Simmons, jump off the porch, man, or go in the house. Like, that's really what it boiled down to. You either jump off the porch or you go in the house. And I grew up in rough neighborhoods, per you too, Stephen A. And we know, dude, sometimes you just got to fight. Your situation ain't always great. It ain't always cracked up to what you think it's supposed to be. But ultimately, Ben Simmons' talent is the reason why we talking about him like this. If Ben Simmons was just a fly-by-night basketball player, wouldn't nobody be mad? We'd be like, all right, trade the dude. Get him out of here. Let him go play somewhere else where he can be happy. Ben Simmons got to jump off the porch. And to your point, Stephen A., because you took it right out of my mouth, man, this is the city of AI, bro. Like, you cannot play in Philadelphia for the 76ers. This is the city of Irvin. Give me my name, man. Give me my name. Give me my name. An old school basketball player. Magic. Not Magic. Julius Erving. This is the city of Julius Erving. It's been dogs in this organization. That's what these fans expect. So he has to understand, not only, to your point, Stephen A., the history of where he is and what this fan base has got accustomed to. They not used to a dude fleeing from problems. They not used to a dude fleeing from a situation that's not conducive for him personally. You go in and you ball out. So that's my message to Ben. Jump off the porch, bro, or go in the crib.
He said it right. Charles Barkley, Julius Erving, Moses Malone, Andrew Toney, Maurice Cheeks, Billy Cunningham. Darryl Dawkins, Chocolate Thunder. The list goes on and on. You don't run because of fans. You don't run.